Wednesday, August 2nd, and this is Geeknights. This is not a normal episode of Geeknights because we are very shortly, as in the morning, driving to Baltimore for Otakon.
Hooray!
As a result, tonight is nothing more than our Otakon Pregame. You're lucky to even get an episode at all.
Pre-game show. So, who do you think is going to win the game tonight? Oh, I don't know. They have a strong offense, but the other team, they've won their last 5 games, and they've been rested up for last week.
It's going to be Kimi Räikkönen.
Yeah. I know, right? All right, the point of this episode is 2 things. Number 1, to give people going to Otakon, the times and places they'll be able to see us and hang out with us and do whatever.
And we're going to give a very brief overview of all the things on the schedule that was just released that might be interesting.
Yeah, kind of like a pre-con report. Like, oh, this panel looks good. You might want to go to that. You might want to stay away from this. It looks scary. Here's a good idea. You might want to, do this to make sure you get the most out of your con experience. Looking at the schedule of Otakon, which came out Sunday morning.
Plus, stuff we're looking forward to, all that. This will kick off our Otakon coverage.
Yep.
So, first off, with the goods, in case you're listening to this just before you go to the con or you're trying to find us, the places we can guarantee that you will be able to find us at this con.
On Friday, the first day of the con, at 11 a.m., we are going to have an Geeknights listener meetup thing, kind of. It's not official. It's not on the con schedule. But if you go to the Baltimore Convention Center and you go upstairs, there's a place with the escalators. It's not the Pratt Street lobby. It's the other one, right? The Otterbein? No. I forget which lobby the name is. If I had a BCC map, I could tell you the name of the lobby. It's the lobby with the water and the escalators.
The cosplay lobby.
Exactly. You go up the escalators and you turn right. You go right, and you'll see this, BCC kind of directory kind of thing, and there'll be a slight open area in front of some panel rooms. And then there'll be some doors that go out to a patio. On that patio, we're going to hang out at 11 a.m.
Yes, it will not be difficult to find us. We may or may not have some small amount of equipment set up, recording or something.
Yep. So at 11 a.m. on Friday, if you want to find us right away, especially if you should find us right away because you're going to hang out with us a lot, then that's the place to go.
Yep. The only other place we will guarantee that we will show up is the concert on Friday at 8 p.m. in the concert arena, the power plant.
The Ram's Head place at the power plant, yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, if you want to meet us at that concert, it's going to be nuts, and you probably won't find us unless you found us ahead of time.
Yeah. The way the concert's working at Otakon this year, which is different from every place before, is that there's actually a concert hall place near Otakon at the power plant, Ram's Head, whatever. It's like a normal small concert joint where bands play. And they've rented it out, I guess, Friday night and Saturday afternoon for the same concert, but twice. So the concert is Nana Kitade and Muck, which we've talked about in the past. So we're going to go to it on Friday because on Saturday it conflicts with something else that we have to do.
Yes, now moving on to Saturday, you can definitely, without question, find us at the Anime Club Summit at 3 p.m. in panel number 3.
Yes, Rim and Scott Johnson, who is not me, they run the Anime Club Summit, and it's an hour-long panel from 3 to 5.
And I not
or
to
2-hour-long panel.
Yeah, the panel's been getting really popular, so they made it bigger and they put it in a bigger room this year. And we have some industry on the panel in addition to us, and it's always a good panel. I mean, we really do know what we're talking about when it comes to running anime clubs. And
yeah, they gave you 2 hours. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Usually you get 1 hour.
Because a lot of the higher-ups to Otakon really like the panel, and the industry really likes the panel, and the panel always gets a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. So we are guaranteed to be at the Anime Club Summit, and a good place if you just want to see us and you don't care about the Anime Club Summit. If you go outside of panel 3 at around 5, when the panel gets out, we'll be there.
And there's a decent chance at that point we'll all go out and get some food.
There is a decent chance. That's usually the strategy. Now, if you look at your Otakon schedule, you will note that at 10 a.m. on Saturday in Theater 1, which is, I guess, used to be main events, there's a panel called Podcasting the Right Stuff. That is not Geeknights.
That is I'm not going to say what my opinions of the Right Stuff podcast, but suffice to say that is not our panel. We may or may not be there to talk to them, but don't count on it.
Yeah, The Right Stuff International is a company that, distributes and sells anime in the United States. And they have an official company podcast. And they must have, unbeknownst to us until now, asked Otakon for a panel for that podcast. And they have it. And that has nothing to do with us. They're probably not even going to talk about podcasting in general, I would guess. I would guess they're mostly going to talk about their podcast, for the right stuff. At least that's what the title of their panel implies. Our panel is on Sunday at 10 a.m. in panel 4. If you come Sunday, 10 a.m., panel room number 4, Geeknights has an hour-long panel called Podcasting and Internet Radio.
We are going to be talking about podcasting and internet radio.
And Geeknights.
Yes, it'll probably be a very good panel. We did a similar thing at Toricon. It went over very well. I expect it will be hilarious and awesome, and I expect there will be much hijinks as we take everyone from the panel directly afterward to the con feedback session and then the closing ceremonies in one big blob.
Yeah. So, if you come and see us at no other point in the convention, come to our panel on Sunday at 10 a.m. in panel room number 4.
Not only is that the absolute guaranteed place to find us, unless we get killed or something ahead of time, but since we'll be recording the panel most likely live, that's your chance to appear on Geek Nights and ask us a question, possibly.
Yes, that episode of the recording of that panel will likely air not next Monday, but a week from next Monday.
Yep. Now, aside from all those places you can see us, the things I'm excited about this year, other than the usual stuff, I mean, I want to go to the dances. I didn't get a chance to dance so much last year.
Mm-hmm.
The FMA movie is being shown, and while I've heard a lot of bad things about the movie, if I can watch it in the theater at Otakon for free...
Yeah, it looks like it starts, though, as soon as the Friday night concert gets out.
Yeah.
So we're probably not gonna.
I kind of want to see... Remember, we don't have descriptions of these panels. The only things we have to go on right now are their names.
Yep.
That said, I'm interested in Your Favorite Anime Sucks.
Yeah, that sounds like a funny panel.
Science and Anime, only because we think it's possible that Mike Pfeffer might be running it. Just because it sounds like the kind of panel...
Well, because last year he ran anime, politics, and anime. So if it's science and anime, or anime and philosophy, which is another panel that is running at the same time as the concert...
Now, of course,
there's a chance he might be running it.
Every year we go to the con feedback session and closing ceremonies because they are, without exception, awesome.
Mm-hmm. The opening ceremonies you can skip.
But closing ceremonies and con feedback are great because 1, Otakon is very well run. But 2, the con feedback session is usually at most cons where people come and complain about the things that weren't run well. The way Otakon runs it is so awesome in that 1, well, I keep giving numbers to these things. I'm going to stop that. When people have a complaint, the Otakon staff always have had either a direct answer, as in that happened because of X and it was out of our control because of Y, or that's a great idea. Talk to us and we'll do it your way next year.
So basically, no one comes up and puns them with questions. They basically pun anyone who comes up with negative comments.
I mean, I remember one year some guy, I think he was from cosplay.com, came up and he was complaining about the way Otakon runs their cosplay, the masquerade.
They don't follow cosplay.com's rules, some arbitrary, non-binding organization.
And the staffers basically said, this is our con, and we run it the way the people who come to our con want it. And we don't really care how other people say we should run our masquerade because everyone seems to really enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have a problem with it. Only crazy cosplay people had a problem.
Not even crazy cosplay people. Crazy cosplay people on cosplay.com who like to complain about things.
Yep. Another time, the year that they had the Larkin CL concert, I went...
No, TMR.
Oh, that's right, the TMR concert.
Yeah, TM Revolution.
Was it really?
Yes.
Oh, I think, no, it had to be both.
No, it was specifically that one. Because the chairs.
It was the chairs both times.
No, because the chairs in the arena can't be removed, Scott.
No, the chairs in the arena were... The chairs that we were on in the arena could be removed. It was the chair...
But most of them couldn't. And besides, you asked the question during the TMR concert. I'm 100% sure that is when this happened.
I don't know.
I am sure, because they were 2 separate years, and you wouldn't ask the same question 2 years in a row.
But I don't think we went to the...
Yes, we did.
Anyway, I went to the...
In fact, you asked about it specifically because people behind us at the TMR concert yelled at us because we were standing up during the concert.
Anyway... at one of the two concerts, at the closing feedback session, I asked, how come there wasn't any, general admission standing area? How come there are chairs from the front to the back? And the guy was like, yeah, we couldn't get that for security reasons. And I'm like, well, if you couldn't get it for security reasons, maybe you should just, get more security or something. And then this big guy stood up and he's like, I'm the security, blah. And then it was funny. And then I sat down. But then the guy who was in charge of that for Otakon came over and he was like, I wanted general admission so bad, but I couldn't get it.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, Otakon really has their stuff together. This is probably the best run convention ever.
Yep.
And also, a really cool thing is that a new thing they started doing recently is that they show the winning anime music videos at one of the two, which means you don't have to sit through
the closing ceremony.
You don't have to sit through the anime music video contest.
Yeah, the anime music video contest. If you really like AMVs, go to it. But
which I do, and at other cons I always go to it, but I don't have time to go to it at Otakon.
Yeah, it's just it takes too long, and it conflicts with the Friday concert.
It conflicts with everything.
Yeah. It's not the greatest usage of time.
Now, there's some things on the schedule that scare me this year.
Mm-hmm.
One, there is a 18 plus, meaning you have to be 18 and they'll check ID to get into this panel, called Let's Get Social Friday afternoon. And that can't be anything other than hookups, as far as I can tell.
I don't. It has to be the hookup panel.
That's
it's actually a workshop, so it's a hookup workshop.
I guess it's got to be, as far as I can guess, it's probably just people who want to get with other people at the con, which seems to be the primary goal of a lot of people who go to Otakon.
Yeah, but it's mostly the less than 18s who want to hook up. But this is 18 plus only.
So this is people who want to hook up, but it's guaranteed that no one they hook up with will be illegal and underage.
Oh, I guess that's okay.
I think that's great, but
maybe we should go to it.
And I want to go to it just to interview some people about it.
That's
now,
hilarious.
One, the 4chan panel is not 18 plus, but the panel both before it and after it are.
Yeah, I think the general gist is that the 4chan people agreed to follow some certain guidelines to prevent their panel from being 18 plus, but they put it late at night, so the likelihood of under 18s going to it is kind of low.
I'm pretty sure that Otakon has a hammer hanging over the 4chan panel. And if anything happens this year, they are never coming back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Because last year, they staged a fight between a guy who pretended to be a furry and a guy who pretended to be like a 4chan thug, and they staged a fake fight at the panel that almost got the police involved before they admitted that it was fake. And Otakon was like, you can't pull that shit here. Now, right before it is the Hentai Dojinshi panel, which, no.
Great.
Right after it is a panel that, if I'm not completely dead, How to Survive the Zombie Apocalypse, which is probably going to be hilarious.
And at the same time as the 4chan panel, in fact, so long that it starts before and ends after the 4chan panel, is a workshop. 18 plus, do-it-yourself bukkake.
This scares the living hell out of me. If you don't know what bukkake is, first, what I want you to do is go to Google Images and turn off Safe Search. Then type the word bukkake, Bukkake, into it, hit enter, but then
don't do this if you're under 18.
No, do this. Do this right now.
If you're under 18, don't do it.
Oh, yeah, because we don't want to get in trouble. Now, before you click enter, find everyone in your family. If you're at work, find your boss, and then hit enter. Don't actually do that. Bukkake is a horrible thing.
So this is a frightening panel, immensely frightening. I
am going to this because I want to see what kind of freaks go in, and then I want to interview them and ask them what the hell they're thinking.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much the only scary stuff.
Well, the only other thing is that there is a Yuri panel that not only does it not say 18 plus, but it specifically says not 18 plus.
Maybe they fought hard to get it to be not,
Well, what I wonder is that
shouldn't they just call it the Shoujo Ai panel?
That's what I was about to say, because Yuri is a much more specific word than a lot of American fans seem to think. Just like yaoi.
Mm-hmm.
Yaoi doesn't mean boys liking each other. Yaoi means boys doing things to each other.
Yeah. All right. Now, as for our traditional incredibly violent late-night live-action movie, you will note that Video Room 5 at Otakon is showing only live-action Asian cinema, which is awesome. And a lot of the movies in there are awesome. And a lot of the movies in there are,
Yeah, there's a half-hour movie that's just called South Asian Horror.
Yep, well, I looked in at the what movies are playing late at night, Friday and Saturday, to figure out which one was ridiculously violent. And I've checked out 4 of them that look like good contenders on IMDb, and I have short summaries. Lady Terminator is at like 10:30 in Video 5, of course, on Friday. The only thing I have to say about this is she mates and then she terminates. After that is Art of the Devil 2, which is supposedly a movie that's kind of slow for 40 minutes, but then after 40 minutes, because it's an hour and a half, 90-minute movie, so the second 50 minutes are ultra-violent.
Yep, so maybe we'll go. We haven't decided which one we're going to yet.
Yeah, Art of the Devil 2 looks like a good contender, because it feels like one of those horrible, horrible movies that's not good. Saturday night at 9, they're showing Jigoku, which is, there are like 3 movies in IMDb named Jigoku, and Jigoku, I'm pretty sure, means hell in Japanese, and they are all had to do with Japanese hell, so I'm not sure if it's going to be ultra-violent, if it's going to be about, learning a lesson or anything like that.
Of course, the one after it is called Sex and Fury.
Yeah, now Sex and Fury was described on IMDb as being a specific genre of pink violence. Basically, the movie is full of not ultra-violence, but just kind of normal, over-the-top violence with lots of TNA. So that's also a pretty good contender, because you got the TNA combined with the better than American cinema violence. It could be good. That could be the one.
Yeah, we'll basically make the decision at the con, so you'll have had to track us down at some point to figure out what the ultra-violent movie is that we are all going to go to and yell about.
And of course, if at any time... there's a good chance that we randomly hang around Video 5 when the con is at a low point.
Yes. Also, if you don't go to the concert on Friday, you must go to Video 4 at 7:30 p.m. and watch Lupin the Third: Strange Psychokinetic Strategy.
That's a live-action Lupin the Third movie that's awesome.
It is badass, and I even missed the first 15 minutes of it because I was asleep in the hotel room, a little hungover, and Scott Johnson comes back from the movie, wakes me up, and forces me to get dressed to come down and watch it. And
I think it might be available on DVD, though. I think that's why it's being shown at all these cons, is that someone's selling it. And if I see it in the dealer's room, I'm going to get it.
If the movie hadn't been good, I would have killed him, but the movie was awesome.
Yeah. Also, at 2 o'clock in Video 4 on Friday, they're showing Prefectural Earth Defense Force, which is supposedly hilarious. Anime World Order bets their lives on it.
Yeah, we'll see.
And if I don't buy it in the dealer's room, I'm going to go watch it there. All right, what else looks really interesting at this con?
I don't know. Everything else is pretty standard con fare. I really need to read the descriptions. I mean, Video 7 is going to have a bunch of premieres Saturday from all the companies, but
there's a Voltron special in Video 7 from Media Blasters who's putting out all those Voltron DVDs.
At 9 o'clock on Saturday, they're showing Cromartie the movie, which I missed at several other cons.
Maybe we'll have to go see that.
But overlapping that is Animal Treasure Island and the Transformers
panel. I really want to see Animal Treasure Island. That's a classic.
The old school anime panel and the Masquerade.
Yeah, I think Animal Treasure Island might win. That's an old school Tezuka thing.
Yeah, but if you need a sense as to the scale of Otakon, consider this. Most cons would never put major events conflicting with each other at all. Like, to have the AMV contest at the same time as a concert would be crazy, because everyone goes to every big event. Otakon's so big that they have to do it that way because there's so many people.
Yeah, imagine if you have like the main events room at your convention holds 5,000 people. And so at your cosplay, everyone shows up. And you have an AMV contest, that's where most people are going to be. So if you put them both at the same time, you're going to force people to choose between one and the other, and you're basically going to split your con in half, and a lot of people are going to be angry.
There is no room at Otakon that can hold all of Otakon.
Well, except for the arena.
Yeah, but even that...
Which is why they got the arena for the cosplay.
Yes. If everyone wants to go to the cosplay, they can arrange it.
Mm-hmm. But other than that, there is nothing at Otakon that can accommodate everyone. So they put as many awesome things simultaneous to each other to keep the people spread out. Fill up everything. As opposed to having one overflowing bucket, they have, so much water, they get a lot of small buckets.
Yeah, Otakon does provide a lot of water, which is very key.
Lots of water. There's free water everywhere. Make sure you take advantage of it, or else you will dehydrate. Because you're being air-conditioned in the convention center, and it's hot as hell outside. You don't realize you're dehydrating in the air conditioning. Drink water a lot. You're doing a lot of walking.
Yes, also don't forget to eat. Eat a lot of food. Eat more food than you think you need. Because
when you go to eat, you should become full after you eat, every single time you eat. Lunch and dinner.
Now, we'll have a lot to say about the food because this year the food situation might be a little different, but if you have at all any problems with food at the con, go across the street to the mall. They have amazing food, and they give discounts to Otakon people. They know.
Yep, remember when I talked about those escalators? If you go up those escalators in the water and the fountain room, the big giant lobby.
The cosplay lobby.
Yeah, you turn left and you go out the con, out those doors, and keep going. You'll eventually go across a skywalk. You'll see everyone's going this way, to a mall and a food court, and that is the best place to get normal kind of food.
Be warned, there is nowhere to sit. That place will be as crowded as Otakon for the entire convention, and there'll be a lot of normal people who are just in the Inner Harbor for the weekend, just not knowing what to do and freaking out.
Yeah, if you don't show up there to eat at strange times, like if you don't want to eat at like 10 a.m. and 3 p.m., you're not going to find a seat there without you a fight, especially if you bring a large crew with you. If you go alone, you'll probably might find a chair somewhere. But if you bring your friends, give up.
Yeah, basically, don't expect to eat lunch with the front row crew. In fact, the front row crew does not eat lunch with the front row crew. We go in groups of 1 to 3 at random times all day for breakfast and lunches.
Yeah, sometimes we'll just grab a breakfast before the con starts in a small breakfast nook.
Yep. However, generally Saturday night at some point, though maybe this year because of all the stuff going on Saturday, we'll do it Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
We get everyone involved and associated with us. Last year we had like 19 or 20 or probably more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Fuddruckers in a giant blob.
Yes, if you walk down the road towards the ESPN, whatever it is, the power plant concert place is down that way also. You will see a Fuddruckers. Eat there. Eat there at least once during the convention sometime.
Don't order a milkshake.
Why not?
They will not be able to accommodate you. That place cannot accommodate the number of people from Otakon who try to eat at it.
Well, if it's not crowded when you go, you can get a milkshake. It just takes a long time for them to make them.
Yeah, unless they forget your milkshake.
And also, they have a 1-pound hamburger, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Oh, don't eat that unless your stomach's real big.
Now, the other thing we usually do is we go to a fancy restaurant one of the other days.
Don't come to us with a fancy restaurant if you don't know us.
Yeah, but if you try to follow us to the fancy restaurant, you'll know if we're going to the fancy restaurant. One, you probably won't have enough money because even our friends don't have enough money. We barely squeak by every year.
Yeah.
And two, that is like the front row crew like private dinner.
Yeah, you don't get to come.
Yeah, unless we invite you.
Yeah, if you're invited, you can come.
I mean, last year we had a good 18 or 19 people just at that one, and we took up like an entire giant table to the point that like we were separated at this one table into like 8 groups that were each individually talking in a small conversation unrelated to everyone else. It was that many people.
Yeah, usually, you go to eat somewhere and the whole table is one conversation or 2 conversations. This one was like 6 or 7 conversations.
Yeah, like I was sitting on the end talking to Ido and Brian, and completely independent of that, there were other conversations going on.
Yeah, it's crazy. Big table. Let's see. I'm sure there was something else on here that was interesting and I missed it.
Yeah, I guess the thing is, I highlighted events I'm interested in going to, and I have highlighted something at every single point in the entire convention. And this does not even include the video game room, the dealer's room, the artist alley, the art show, everything else we're doing at the con.
Yeah, you're probably not going to see us in the video game room more than maybe once, just so we can look at the video game room.
Yeah,
that's generally what we tend to do at Otakon is look at the video game room once and then leave it.
I mean, I like to play DDR at cons, but we're going to Wildwood to play on the brand new 9th Mix machines that
DDR Supernova
that just came from Japan recently. So
yeah, it's like I can play video games anytime. While I'm at Otakon, I have to do things that are awesome to Otakon. So I'm not going to spend my time playing video games, or I would enter tournaments if they were interesting tournaments and not the same typical Halo Smash Brothers tournaments that you see everywhere.
And also, I guess one final kind of warning to all of our fans. Hang out with us at the con. Like, definitely, we want to hang out with you. But if we all head back to our hotel room to plan something, unless we specifically invite you to come, we've had situations in the past with people we don't really know just trying to follow us back to the hotel room.
Yeah.
But if you're invited to the hotel room, you'll know it because we'll specifically invite you. Probably because we want to interview you or do something.
Yeah, if no one says to you, hey, you, come with us, then don't come with us to places. But any place...
Well, any place outside of the con.
Exactly. If we're at the convention, you can do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
You know, unless I say... Because then if you annoy me, I'll say, go away.
Yep. And also, you can try to hang out with us at lunch, but we're not going to save you a seat because we don't even save each other's seats. It is definitely a fight to the death over food.
Indeed.
So this is the last normal episode of Geek Nights until we get back from Wildwood and Otakon and everything.
That's so after next week, we will return.
Of course, there will still be episodes every day next week, but there will be specials and such.
Mm-hmm.
So think about that work ethic. Even when we're on vacation, there are still podcasts going up.
Fear that.
So don't any of you bastards ever complain if we miss an episode. And hopefully we'll see you at Otakon 2006.
Or you're a loser.
And that was Geek Nights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for our opening theme.
Be sure to visit our website at www.frontrowcrew.com. If you like our podcasts, you'll love our forums. Make sure you visit them. You can send your email feedback to geeknights@gmail.com. And if you want, you can leave us a voicemail at 206-333-1537.
Geek Nights airs every weeknight, Monday through Thursday.
Geek Nights is recorded with absolutely no studio and no audience. But unlike those other talk shows, it's actually recorded at night.